Hello, my name is Rez. I am a professional game programmer. I do electrical engineering as a hobby, and we have one last day. It's this longer box. This is day 24 here on Christmas Eve. And we have multiple LEDs. We've got another 4 LEDs that we're going to hook up in some way. And that will conclude this journey. So day 24, here it is. And I think there's some pages after this. So we'll see what some of these other pages look like. Day 24, we get a bunch more LEDs, and we just hook them up to various other places. Yeah, that's largely what we're doing here. Okay. We get 4 LEDs, as you can see in the diagram. You connect them to pins, 11 or whatever. As today is December 24th of December, you should press and hold the 2 middle buttons before and while you connect to the power supply. As long as you hold the buttons, the second, third LED light up. When you release them, a Christmas song is played. How cute. Well, let's see what happens. We'll do this first. We're hooking up to pin 11. Let me zoom this in a little. What's that, 10? Here, so this is 11. No, that's 11 right there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we've got these guys as well. Okay. These guys are not going to be able to hook up in the way that this thing wants me to hook them up. So I'm going to have to make some stuff up here. So we can hook this one up. And this one connects to pin 10. Oh, okay, so pin 10 is no longer pulled to ground. We've got this one. Let's try and find a spot for you. I think this is a good spot. Yeah, that should work. I don't see anything here. I'm going to have to kind of move some of this stuff. There we are. Okay, so this one's going to be hooked up to pin 8. It's this one, and this one was floating before, so no extra hookup necessary. Come on. There we go. And we've got one last one. Let's see, do I have a... I do. I have a free row right here. I think that's okay. And we will... Looks like we're going to cut our final piece of wire. Going from here to, like, down there. So we'll cut it right about here. Okay, so you're going to be from here to... Where are we going? We're going to here. Let me make sure that's right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to pin 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is this guy. This one, that means we're also removing this orange guy here. Okay. Now I've created a kind of a mess here, so let's spread these out. Let's spread this out. Okay, that should be okay. All right, so it wants me to hold this and this, right? The 2 middle buttons, second and third. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, that's correct. There we go. Hopefully you can hear it. Cute. And then it's going to repeat. Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. So I'm going to kill the power and turn it on and see what it does. It's probably going to do what it did before. No, now it's playing... It's playing notes. This is all very different. So if we pull this up... Okay. We've got... Sound machine. Here we go. So this is what it's supposed to be. Here are the various modes. Here we are. Sound machine is now complete. Okay, so I've gone through this, and it's sort of wonky. There's a playback mode for playback the thing that you've created. There's this programming mode. So this is the mode that we're mostly interested in. The other modes are kind of toy modes. So these are all the modes, if you're curious. And a lot of them are like, there's just some kind of play with some stuff mode. This is all kind of toy mode. The programming mode is sort of the main event, I think. So the programming mode uses the trimmer values, but it's not live. It's weird. I'll show you. Okay, so in this mode, you can change currently selected note. You can modify the pitch, length, and volume up to up to 256 tones. First selected is always the note assigned to memory location 0. None of the LEDs light up. And so you have 256 different possibilities. And again, they light up. So this is a binary number here, 1, 2, 4, 8, and so on. You just sum these up like this. This is basically a pretty standard kind of binary, like 8-bit binary display. So 0 to 255. So I can have a lot of different things here. First selected is this. The tone of the selected memory location is played repeatedly with short breaks in between. To select a memory location, use C and D. So I can just use C and D to move up and down. P1 volume. Okay, so 8 volume levels, 0 through 7 can be selected. They are displayed as binary numbers. When you press B, values with trimmers P1 through P3 are applied to the tone. As long as you hold B, the value of the trimmer changed last is presented as a binary number. When you release B, the LEDs again show the number of the memory location. Please note that the sound chip adopts new values for a sound when the continuous loop takes short breaks. So in other words, you're not going to hear it right away. It's not always appropriate to choose maximum volume. And then they just go on to talk about length. And the lengths are sort of 1 through 9 from an eighth note. And I don't know what the technical term for this would be. Then we get to quarter note and so on all the way out here. I don't remember what that little dot means. I don't know if it's like an eighth plus a 16th. Is that what that means? But slightly longer each time. And then pitch, right? Changes the pitch, and then we can see the pitch scale as it changes, and so on. Now, I played around with this for a while, and to the point where I was sitting here with my multimeter trying to figure out why it wasn't working. Because it did not work for me, because I made a very critical assumption. So I'm going to... it wants me to display it sort of like this, so let's do this. So here we are. We have our 3 potentiometers here. We've got our buttons here. So in order to get into programming mode, I have to hold down. Let's like set this guy up here. I need to hold down this button, turn it on, and I'm going to hear a note. There it is. Hopefully you can hear it. I'll kind of move this slightly. No lights are lit up because I'm in memory location 0. If I move up, I'll be in memory location 1. That was not the right button. That was down. This is up. So, and this is all binary. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, which would be the octave, but there is no 8. So it's just counting up. And that's it. Now, here's the mistake that I made. I was adjusting these knobs and nothing was happening. And so I'm like pulling out my multimeter. I'm like, oh, what did I break? Nothing. I didn't break anything. The problem is the values are not actually applied until you press B. So you have to like tweak the values. I'm going to crank up the volume a little bit. And then I have to hold this. That is not the volume button. Yeah, so I'm lowering the volume. Oh, wow. Okay, so let me change some of this stuff. There we go. So I'm having a longer tone now. So I've turned the volume way down. Uh-oh, it didn't hold down long enough. I've cranked the volume up. So there's no live editing. As long as I'm holding down B, I can actually tweak it. Oh no, I can tweak it as long as I'm holding down B. The lights lighting up are what value it's going to be. And it's a little dodgy. So let's hold it down. This is me turning it. I can change the volume. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's digital. And then that's the tone. That's the idea, is you're kind of tweaking, you know, a particular signal. You're tweaking a particular note using tone and playback speed and volume. And then you're able to record that in some way. So if I go here, yeah, it replaced tone 0 with my tone. So now I should be able to save with button B. So those all lit up. Now, hopefully, if I just turn this off and then turn it back on, there we go. It did save my tone. So that is the basic idea of playing with this thing. It's small and it's tedious, but you know, it's a tiny little thing that we've sort of built here. I'm going to kill this, and it's kind of cool. So I'm going to play with this for a bit and just make something, I guess. I think, yeah, I'm going to play with this. Give me a bit. I'm going to pause the video and just screw around with this for a while. Okay, I'm back. I spent some time playing around with this. They actually have an Ode to Joy, Beethoven's An Ode to Joy right here, and I did half of it. It's quite tedious, but I did half of it for you, so I can just play it. Hopefully you can hear it okay. I'm gonna move the microphone. So it's just the first two measures. I didn't bother doing the rest because, again, I mean, this took me like 15 minutes just to do this much. It's quite tedious because you have to tweak everything. You're basically changing these values digitally. So like if I zoom this way down, you can kind of see these values. These are the digital values. So you're turning these potentiometers, these knobs here, until, like, you're turning these until this binary value reads the thing that you want. It helps to know binary, well, hex in a way, right? Because, you know, it's, you want to set value 12, well, you have to know that that's 1100. and it's it's tedious. All that said, my final conclusion on this thing, it was a fun project. I have some notes for sure. My notes are as follows. First, I wish they had more description as to what was going on throughout the building of this. That would have been way better. Let's talk about the program a little bit. Let's talk about what it's doing. Number two, there were actual editing issues that caused me confusion, right? Like this little extra line right there. That's just an editing issue. Number three, at some point they talked about having, now you have a volume control, now you have a tone control, where I simply did not. And I think I did, but that I had to hold down one of these buttons to make it happen, right? Because I think we were in this mode, and they just simply didn't explain it. So I thought my circuit was broken. I made to rebuild the whole thing from scratch. So we had that issue as well. There was some really cool stuff here, and I had fun building it. And there are some really fun moments of being able to build this kind of little music synthesizer thing. But I think it fell short, if I'm honest. Certainly compared to this guy from the previous year, the robot. The robot was a huge winner. I mean, this was super fun to build. And it ran into a few issues, largely due to my own issues, right? Just bugs and things that come up as you're trying to build this thing. This was one of my very favorites. The video game console one, while a little weird in places, was also quite good and explained somewhat what was going on. I wish they went more into the programming there. But, it's a balance. It's a tricky balance to strike. How much do you go into the gory details of what's actually happening? And, who's your audience? And I think their audience is a lay audience, an audience who doesn't know anything about electronics, kind of doesn't really want to know, so they put little pieces here or there into it, and they just want to put together a bunch of stuff on a breadboard and play with it and see what happens. And for that audience, it's fine. Though again, I do wish that they had stuff. I break down some of my videos. I did less of it this time, but certainly in the robot one, I did quite a bit. I did these technical videos. So I just split it. And I think they could do the same thing here, right? There's enough room here. They could say, in one of these other ones, they could just say, okay, well, here's what you want to do. Here, there's a lot of real estate here that they don't actually need. They could have filled this in with a call out. Here's the technical thing that's going on. Just have it be an icon thing that, if you don't really care, if you're just putting stuff around, you could ignore. And I have a sector of my audience who doesn't care about the technical stuff. And so they literally just don't watch those videos. And I can see some of the numbers on, the technical videos never do as well as the non-technical videos. And I have friends who watch this and they just tell me, yeah, I'm not going to watch the technical videos. That's why I split them out. So I think they could have done that here. So it was rocky. I found this one a bit rocky. But overall, it was a fun experience. I had fun playing with it. I had fun putting it together. It was kind of cool to have something a little more complicated. I enjoyed it overall. I just think that this one was a little weak in some areas. So that's my assessment. I hope you had fun going on this journey with me. I hope that you have a happy holiday celebration, whatever it is that you celebrate. If you celebrate anything, I hope that it's enjoyable to you. And I don't know if they're making any more, so I don't know if I get to do one next year, but we'll see. If not, maybe I'll make up my own. I don't know what it'll be, 24 days of messing around with something. I'm not sure, but I feel like, there's too much of... I've been doing this for something like 4 years. I think I've done 4 of these. So it would be a shame to not do it next year, but... That's what I've got. Thank you so much for sticking through this with me, having fun. I hope you had as much fun as I did.